Hey guys, we are live. So if you're watching this right now, thanks so much for joining the D&D Morning Show. There you go. And if you're watching a replay, thanks for tuning in and checking out a replay as well. Just checking out here, making sure we're rocking it, and we are. So, Dorothy, what are we talking about today?
There you are, Drew. So today, like we said in the video intro, we wanted to talk about road tripping.
That's right. Not tripping, road tripping.
Road tripping. So we're going to talk about some tips for road tripping. And of course, we're going to start off with fun fact. And we have a recipe for you because we're going to be talking about the healthy way of road tripping. And then we have a quote as well.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That's our show.
So, how would you like to get started?
Well, maybe you could start, Drew, by talking about
Turn the fun bit. I feel like I'm looking behind you.
Is that better?
That's better.
Drew, why don't you start by talking about the fun fact? Let's come on. Let's get into it.
Let's
get
going. As you can tell, Dorothy may not be her full self at the moment.
That is untrue.
So, Dorothy is a planner. And we've decided that we're not going to plan.
We've decided.
That we're not going to plan on this trip. So, Dorothy's a little bit on edge. So this time we always fly to LA, and this time we're going to. It's a super fun adventure for me. And Dorothy's a bit on edge. So we're not planning. We don't know where we're going to stay, and we don't have a place we don't have set times where we're going to stop. So we're driving. And we're going to stop when we feel like stopping. We're going to maybe camp. We've got a tent. We're going to stay at some friend's house maybe. And then when we get there, we don't. And when we get there, we don't have a place to stay either. So Dorothy is really trying to hold herself together. She's doing a great job, but we're getting close to the end, and she's getting more and more internally volcano-ish.
No, I'm not. It's just that. I'm the planner, I'm the packer, I do all of that kind of things. And so when we are going on a road trip, there is way more things to consider than if you just hop on a plane.
It's true.
Because when we just hop on a plane, we pack our little carry-on and we go. But a road trip is a lot different because... Well, especially because we've decided to do some camping. So you need all your camping gear, and then you need all your food, and of course we're going to be in LA for the summer, so we need all of our business stuff, we need all of our workout stuff. So there's just a lot of things, and I have 500 different lists, and the hours are ticking down.
Yeah, we're close. Well, you know what the thing is we were we know there's some of you watching live. If you're watching live, go ahead and let us know you're here. We can still talk. This is a little different than our Friday morning show, but we can still hang out and you can ask questions. Let us know you're here. But we decided because finding a place to stay was challenging. There's places that pop up and disappear all the time in LA, in the beach areas where we stay. So that was a bit stressful finding a place. And then we always fly, we're pretty thrifty when it comes to traveling and saving and budgeting. So Dorothy wasn't able to find flights at this time on sale. Mm-hmm. So I was like, why don't we just drive? Because I thought it would be less stressful. And I was like, we don't need to, then we can leave when we want. We don't need to get to the airport on time. We don't need to find a place. We'll get a place somewhere there because new places pop up all the time. And I think it's been pretty good so far, but I could tell Dorothy's really...
Well, you know what is one thing that is going to be, I guess, interesting or easier is that when we get there and find a place, we can actually look at the places because it takes so much time to reserve your place to stay when you're here and you can't see them.
Right.
So I spend hours and hours and hours researching the right place for us because, we have certain needs. Has to be close to the beach. Has to be walking distance to the beach for us. It has to
snobbish.
Yeah, well, if we're going to be there, that's just a must for us.
Very particular.
Very particular. Has to be in a certain area. Has to be walking distance to the beach. And we have to have a kitchen. So there's certain must-haves for us that we I guess, don't negotiate on.
Right.
That's just how it is. So it usually takes hours and hours to find a place, but this time it's kind of nice because I don't have to sift through online ads. I don't have to do any of that, sift through the pictures and try to like figure out what it looks like because we're actually going to be there to look at the places.
That's right.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be nice in different ways because we're going to have stuff.
Yeah.
We usually have nothing and then have to buy stuff, which is still kind of fun. But then you get like, we usually buy cheaper things like from thrift stores, which is fun as well. But we don't have our own stuff. Like we're thinking about a blender maybe. We're going to have some of our own things, and that's going to be nice. And this will be the first time we have a vehicle. We also want to keep the vehicle. Like we still like to do things. Like we love to take the bus for some reason.
Yeah, I love the bus.
We like to, if it's a little bit further, we still take Uber. Like that's cheaper than parking and gas. And then we also like to bike or walk. So we are going to have a vehicle, which will be nice if we need to get to like a Dodger game or if we need to get like a bunch of groceries for whatever reason. But so there are things that it's going to be nicer this time than in the past. But I think it's just going to be a different adventure.
It will be.
That we're excited about.
Yes, so let's talk about road trip tips, Drew.
Road trip tips. All right. Yeah, we're gonna... Okay, where do you want to start with that? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you go ahead. You start.
Okay, well, I think when it comes to road trips, like we talked about how we're not planning, like this is a fun adventure. And for me, it's exciting because we're basically just winging it. We're like, let's jump in a car and whenever we stop, we stop. Wherever we want to stay, we stay. For me, that's exciting. Maybe that's not exciting for everybody, but that's exciting. And in this case, we still have things planned. Like we know that we want to stay healthy. We know we want to live a healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So when we stop, we're prepared in different ways. So when we say we're not entirely prepared or we're winging it, that's not 100% true. So we're going to have a cooler, for example. So when you're taking a road trip, we feel it's important to have food prepared. So we know that we're not going to be stopping at fast food joints. We're not going to be there. We're not going to be getting hangry without food. We're going to be prepared with a cooler and with certain meals. Dorothy's really good at packing meals.
Yeah.
So we're going to have. Yeah. So we're going to have different foods. Like we have muesli, which we'll get into a recipe.
Yes, that's our recipe. So I'll get into that later on.
That's right. But we also have snacks. We have ideas on things that we can cook around a campfire or at a friend's house or at a hotel if we need to. But that is prepared. It's just not set in stone.
That's right. And for us, when we travel, we try to be as simple as possible with our meals. And we usually eat a lot of raw meals when we're on the go. So a lot of salads and stuff like that you can eat without having to cook or prepare.
Yeah, so trail mix is a great thing. Like great for us, trail mix is almonds, dried berries, nuts and seeds. Maybe some cleaner chocolate chips. You can find refined sugar chocolate chips and...
Refined sugar.
What did I say?
Free?
Refined sugar chips. I said refined sugar chocolate chips.
You can find refined sugar chocolate chips.
You can find refined sugar-free chocolate chips, soy-free chocolate chips, so you can add those to your mix as well to make it a bit more interesting. Mm. But that's a nice meal to take on the go. What's another one of your snacks?
Well, we a lot of times take... granola bars, fruit, so apples, bananas are travel really well. And we take veggies, hummus.
Hummus and veggies is a big one.
It's a big one.
Granola bars and apples is a big one. Dorothy's gonna make our own muesli. Mm-hmm. You can also make your own granola to take, for example. So there's a lot of things that we can take in preparation. And this is the same thing for camping. Like if you're camping, you can take these foods. I think many times we have marshmallows and we have chocolate and graham crackers. We know we have that. Chips and pop, we know we have that. So this is a different form of planning and a different way of planning for a road trip. And it's going to be able to cover a wide range of things, whether that's camping or hanging out with friends or whatever we're doing. It's going to have healthy options there.
Drew and I saw the most giant marshmallow today.
Oh my gosh.
At the Canadian Tire.
It was like this big.
It was like this big.
One of them.
One.
And the whole bag. There's a whole bag of them. How would you eat that?
I have... Drew put it in and I would stuff it in.
How would you even if you got that marshmallow in your mouth, you wouldn't be able to get the graham crackers on top.
It would be pretty sticky.
It was giant marshmallow.
Yeah.
So, and we're not saying don't have marshmallows or don't enjoy yourself if you're camping or taking a road trip or whatever it is. Enjoy yourself. I mean, have 1 or 2, I guess. But if you sit there and eat 14 and make yourself sick, it's probably not the best thing for you. But again, I think having a plan is important, so we know the direction that we're going and we know the places that we could be stopping.
Yes.
So for us, it's important to stay healthy with hydration. That's a big one. So make sure you're packing enough water or liquid. So we'll take coconut water because we're going out to the Okanagan area. That's one of the places where we're planning on stopping for a longer duration. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sunny. So make sure you have your sunglasses, a thin hat, whatever you need to protect yourself from the sun.
I've made our own mosquito or bug spray with witch hazel, citronella, and lemongrass.
Ooh, nice.
So then that's ahead, right? So when preparing ahead of time, so when you get there and the mosquitoes are bad, you don't have to reach for a toxic can of bug spray. You have your natural one with you.
Yeah. So that's another thing that you can do to stay prepared. And if you're going to use off or whatever the conventional type, that's your own choice. We choose not to, and we wouldn't recommend it. But if that's what you do, then just make sure you're prepared in that regard. And I think planning ahead, and for us, like we talked about, winging it, but we know that we're going to have planned stops. We know that we're going to be prepared in different ways, so it's important to be prepared.
That's right.
When we talked about the Kelowna kind of area, we know that there's cherry orchards out there.
Yeah.
Like a cherry orchard. We know that we don't know if the peaches are going to be ready, but
I don't know yet.
Apples should be ready. Anyways, that's a planned stop that we're looking forward to because of the fresh fruit and because of the things that we're not used to. Many times we have to get shipped in or we have to wait for them to get here. So we're excited for different things in different ways. But regardless of what you're doing, when you're planned for a road trip, make sure that you have these things in place so you're not I have no idea what's going on and we have to stop for fast food or, we don't have any water left or whatever that may be. I think that's going to make things very challenging for you to enjoy your road trip and stay healthy.
That's right. Should we get into the muesli?
Yeah, we should. Dorothy's got a nice recipe to share with you.
Should say the word.
It's muesli.
What do I say?
I don't know. Say it.
Muesli.
Muesli for Dorothy.
Muesli.
It's muesli.
Muesli.
Or muesli.
I think muesli sounds better. Muesli sounds like ooh.
It sounds like a moose.
Ooh. Muesli.
You say like a moose.
Muesli.
Like you're a moose.
Muesli.
It's not a moose.
So we got on this muesli kick because I was having. We were actually in New Brunswick and visiting my family, or our family, and I was having a really hard time with my acne. It was just, I don't know, it was just bad. So I cut out all sugar and I cut out all dairy, all wheat, gluten. We cut everything to try to figure out what was going on with my face. And we were looking at granola actually in the grocery store for breakfast, and we could not find any of them without sugar. It was so frustrating. Even in the...
It's disappointing.
It was very disappointing. Even in the organic or healthy food section, it was still cane sugar, sugar, all these different sugars. So then, Drew's like, what about a muesli?
Pretty sure what I said, what about a muesli? Is there sugar? I hope there's not sugar. I wonder if there's sugar in muesli. Muesli. And there wasn't. So that was pretty exciting for us. And it's really simple. Just your oats and your dried fruit and your seeds or nuts, and it's pretty tasty. So it's like granola, but it's not cooked, it's raw, and there's no sugar or nothing binding to it. It's super loose. Yeah, make sure, granola's usually cooked. And muesli's raw, but you have to still make sure the ones that we found were clean. But you still have to read the ingredients and make sure there's not sugar in them.
Yes, which gets me to my next point, because then we returned home here, and I was looking for muesli for our road trip, and I couldn't find one at the store here that didn't have sugar in it. And then, of course, it was a little bit pricey as well. And then I'm like, bing! I'm going to make my own muesli. So all you need to do to make your own, here's the recipe. All you need to do to make your own...
We're finally getting to it.
Muesli. I say muesli so often now, that's what comes out. All you need is rolled oats, And then you can add pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, almonds, whatever, hemp seeds, and dried coconut. You can add dried fruit as well. We have some nice, dried fruits that we have? Golden berries and cranberries.
Golden berries is our new favorite fruit.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Go ahead. Sorry.
So all you have to do is throw all of that into a jar, and then in the morning you put some milk on it. But you could also use it like overnight oats, and the night before you could soak it as well.
Yeah, sorry guys. So if you're watching the replay of this, we're actually Facebook Live, and sorry guys, for whatever reason the comments weren't coming up in our program here. So Shauna said, "Hey, so thanks for tuning in, Shauna. We saw some of you that are watching." And Shauna said, "I bet you had many lists, Dorothy."
Oh yes.
She had many lists. She had at least 3 lists, and that's not even like scratching the surface.
Because I categorized my lists. We had a business list, and we had what else? Camping list. What else? Exercise list.
Oh yeah, things to bring and stuff.
Yeah.
Dawn was here. She said, "Hey guys, it's the Canadian way to say it." Muesli.
Muesli. That's right. See, Dawn likes it, Drew.
Okay, so I didn't mean to cut you off there. Did you finish?
I finished the muesli, yes.
Okay, so if you get a chance, try that muesli. We're actually gonna make it. We'll show you guys how we put in our membership group. Pay attention over here.
I was looking down here. Do you have a list for your lists? I should!
She should have a list. Don't encourage her, Dawn. Dawn said, "Do you have a list for your lists?" And then Shauna said, "Me too. Lists."
I cannot function without lists.
I like lists, but I feel like if we make to-do lists, like this is like a business tip. If you make to-do lists like that are 10 things long, all you do is do the easiest thing, and you don't do the things that are most important. So it could be a little different here in this regard, but I think if you pick like 3 things that you need to get done, then you cross them off and you can move on to other things.
But in this case, everything on the list needs to get done. It does!
Yeah, I know, I believe you. All right, so we have a quote to wrap up with.
Yeah, Drew, it's actually your quote, so you should read it.
Oh, I don't know where it is.
It's right here.
Oh, you wrote it down?
It's on my piece of paper.
I got it.
Huh?
List. It's on the list.
See, this is our morning show list. Can I see it? I don't know if I see it.
Yeah,
anyway, we have a list for the morning show with each one.
So I grabbed this one because I really enjoy books. I'm a book person. Actually, Dorothy is one of the things on our list is to cut down on the books. So
No. What it says,
maybe you guys can help me out on this.
What it says on the list is go through books and organize them, is because Drew has so many books.
I don't have that many books.
He has a lot of books.
I wish I had like a whole library. Like,
he has a lot of
want
books.
one wall of the home, all books.
Anyway,
all books.
I said, Drew, you don't even read all of those books. And he's like, yes, I do. And then I pull one off of the shelf and I was like, do you read this?
It was in French. She's like,
he doesn't read it.
She's like, I'm gonna go pull this off. It's not even my book.
Doesn't matter.
I can't
it's
read
a book.
She's like, I'm gonna go pull one off. I was like, do it. She's like, I'm gonna see if you read this one. I was like, she pulls off a French book. I'm like, of course I didn't read that one. I don't speak French.
Yeah, but I pulled off the other one about the medicine, the Chinese medicine. Didn't read that one.
But listen, all right. He needs a locker like Owen.
Oh, because Owen has at school, his locker at school is all full of books. He calls it his library.
I'm with Owen. But look, in my defense, Dorothy's she's not really a book person. Like, you read once in a while, right?
I go in spurts more so, hey?
Well, I go in spurts. It
has to be a really good book, and then I'll read it.
So Dorothy, like, dabbles in books.
Dabbles.
I love books. I get lost in books all the time. Right now I'm reading 2 books. I picked up a book. I'm 3/4 of the way done. I picked up like 2 days ago. So I love books. And so Dorothy doesn't really understand that there's different phases in your life where, like, you read a book and you want to come back to it. Or you know that this is going to be a good book, but you're not ready for it in your life yet. But Dorothy's like, if you're not using it now, or if you've already used it, then you don't need it anymore.
You should donate it to somebody who does need it.
That's not how you think. Dorothy's just like, get rid of it. I don't care where it goes or what happens to it.
They collect dust. They take up space.
Can we get any comments here around books?
On my side.
On my side. All right, guys. So this quote is in regards to books. That's why I really like it. And it says, The world is a book. Those who do not travel only read a page. And I love that. I love that because if you read like one page of a book, you don't get much out of it.
Right.
But if you get through all the pages and all the chapters and you fully involve yourself or engulf yourself in the book, there's so many benefits to it. And I think that you learn more and more. And I'll pick up a book and then read it, and I'll read it 2 or 3 times, and each time I'll learn something new. Mm. I think it's the same thing with travel. You could be going to a different place or the same place and find something new or find a new experience. So, and I have friends that are like, why do you guys travel so much? Or what's the big deal about traveling? And I actually had a friend that was like, I'd rather buy stuff and keep stuff than spend all my money on traveling and then not have stuff. So, but I really think that people are different. Like people are different when they get to see the world and have different experiences. And I think we have a bigger vision. Mm. And that's not to say if you're not really a traveler that you can't have that or you don't have that. I just feel that there's so many different benefits from traveling the world and experiencing new things, seeing new sights, understanding new cultures and languages. That's what I have to say about that.
That's what I have to say about that. You know what else I want to say about reading real quick? Is that when I read a book, I'm not as efficient reader as you are. Like I read like all the pages and all the words, and Drew just like skims and he'll flip like different pages. So, Diane, that's why I don't read as much because it takes me longer.
Dorothy, Shauna said I have a reading room. Awesome, Shauna. What does your reading room look like? I'd like a reading room.
You had a reading room.
Yeah, you got chopped
You never
off.
used it.
But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Well, I read a lot of books. So there could be like a paragraph or a chapter that someone else said, and I'm like, I'm not going to read that again. It sounds like they took it from someone else.
Oh.
And like when you read a lot, like when I say quotes or when I share some knowledge, sometimes that comes from someone else because of what I've read or from what I've learned from a book. Mm-hmm. So when other people are teaching the same thing, I don't want to read it, so I just skim past it. And it's a thing, like speed reading.
Oh, I know, it's a thing.
You go, and then you're off.
To see the wizard.
All right, guys. We are going to wrap this up. And
you're going to keep packing.
Yeah, we got lots to do.
Cleaning and packing. See, I have a cleaning list and a packing list.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the D&D Morning Show.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for tuning in.
Dorothy is not really here. She's not here mentally. She's just hanging out. She's here physically. But we got lots to do, so we're going to go get it. You guys are going to follow those in our monthly membership. Of course, you guys are going to follow along with us. We're going to share pictures. We're going to share videos. And we're going to work on cool projects as we're traveling. We're super excited.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, and can't wait to take you on the adventure with us.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.